Hello everyone, it's your host Zast here, and I have some bad news about the pilot for Waifu Wars. A few days ago, I was working on the pilot when suddenly my computer crashed. I'm going to take the wild guess that I overloaded the GPU and it just had enough of my shit while editing the video. But in the long run, I lost about 13 to 15 minutes of footage entirely, voice recording, clips that were edited together, even some of the assets I had that I no longer had the Photoshop files for. So we're looking at about 3.5 hours of work that just poofed because the computer crashed and none of the files were saved properly, I guess. So I decided that after the 6 months I've been procrastinating working on this project, feeling unmotivated to do it, and with how slow the project was coming along, that I'm going to cut the pilot, but not completely. I was able to salvage most of what I had, before the crash, and I decided, why don't we show this off as a preview of what's to come. A lot of things within this time frame between the pilot and the official episode 1 is going to change, from asset appearance, most likely script writing style, because I'm not too happy with how the original script for the pilot went. I was going to rewrite it sooner or later because it just didn't flow well, it didn't sound right to me, and it was completely out of character for the style that I actually have. So I present to everyone the Lost Pilot Waifu Wars. I hope you enjoy. The following might contain explicit content not suitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everyone, I'm your infinitely exhausted host Ass, and welcome to the pilot episode for the upcoming series Waifu Wars. A versus show fueled by estrogen and all about female combatants, and having them broken down to the most simplest of details and fighting to the death. The criteria that we'll be using for judging is quite simple and will be broken down into 4 categories: physique, equipment, abilities, and lastly, feats. At the end of each episode, I'll be giving a small summary of all the details included in each category, and then gifting an edge to either combatant based upon the results. Now, that doesn't mean the combatant with the most edges wins necessarily. Even if a combatant takes all the edges, the other combatant still has a chance of being victorious. With the rules for judging out of the way, today's battle consists of 2 sword-wielding beauties with an insatiable appetite for food. In the blue corner, we have Jubei Yagyu from the light novel and anime series Hayaka Ryoran Samurai Girls. And in the red corner, we have Akame from the manga and anime series Akame Got Killed. Who will be victorious? Who will win this rumble of roses? Let's get to the breakdown and find out. Warning, for the sake of simplicity for this episode, I'll be using only the anime versions of these characters. Despite Jubei's fairly average height of 5 feet 6 inches and her weight being unknown, she is quite the voluptuous young woman. She is usually seen with her red hair and 2 ponytails with a katana guard as a hairpin and an attire that lacks pants. But don't let that distract you from her overall cute appearance and her immaculate figure. For those that are wondering about her sacred 3 measurements, Jubei's are 90 centimeters for bust, 58 centimeters for waist, and 87 centimeters for her hips. Now for her physical appearance itself, she's extremely well fit. While she certainly doesn't show much muscle definition, her feats of immense speed and strength definitely back that up. One more detail to mention: the contractual mark of the Master Samurai is located in between her breasts. There is one final point I would like to make though. While Jubei is quite curvy, she is also quite busty. They can almost be considered as a weapon themselves, since she doesn't seem to wear a bra at all. But fortunately, those aren't the only assets at her disposal. While Jubei's arsenal is small, consisting of only 3 items, it is honestly unique. Her main damage dealers of choice is a Daijō set, which is a set of bladed weapons usually being a katana, and wakizashi or tanto. In Jubei's case, it is a katana with a unique red and black blade and a more typical wakizashi being dual-wielded. While this is more of an accessory than a weapon, she is seen using this a few times as an unexpected attack causing knockback. This rope is somehow attached to her back and it seems to have a weight tied to the end of it. It is almost like a strange variation of the Kusuri Fundo or a metal chain with an iron weight attached to the end. Akame is a young girl with the height of a whopping 5 feet and 4 inches, and her weight is also unknown. And she has long black hair that reaches down to her knees and red-eyed. She is often seen wearing an almost completely black attire consisting of a sleeveless tank top and pleated skirt, also matching shoes and socks. But there are some accent pieces like a white collared shirt, a red tie, and a red side skirt cover. She also wears red gauntlets, black gloves, and sometimes wears a long dark coat in battle. Akame's 3 measurements are as follows: 81 centimeters for her bust, 56 centimeters for her waist, and 83 centimeters for her hips. Also, just a small side note before we move on. I never realized how well endowed Akame actually was until after I researched the series for this episode. Just like Jubei, Akame's arsenal is small. In fact, it only contains a single weapon. While technically she has possessed 3 different swords throughout the series, we'll be focusing on our main weapon of choice, the Imperial Arm, Murasame, the One-Cut Killer. Murasame is an Imperial arm that takes the form of a modern military katana, known for being coated in a lethal poison that can kill those cut by it within seconds, as the poison itself had no antidote. The sword's trump card, the ability to strengthen its user with the power of its poisonous curse for a short amount of time, which was revealed during the final battles against the Empire, particularly when she was combating Esdeath in the final episode of the series. Now, we'll be discussing this ability a little more in depth later, as there's a lot more going on than what it seems. Akame's abilities seem to be... Now, you must be wondering, what's next up for Waifu Wars? Well, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to head straight into episode 1, skipping the pilot. Now, you must be wondering next is, what are you going to do with this episode? Well, we're going to move this episode particularly to another time. Possibly a later season, maybe even at the end of season 1, we'll revisit this episode and give the battle and breakdowns that this truly needs. Now, I have something to ask you. Are you ready? Because I know I am. I hope you guys enjoyed this update, even though it's kind of a sad one. But till then, I am Zast, and I am signing off. Did you really think this is over? No, not by a long shot. Next time on Waifu Wars.